Roman legions, ancient Rome. The Roman legions were the backbone of the Roman military and were pivotal in making Rome a formidable empire for nearly a millennium. Composed of disciplined, well-trained soldiers, legions were not just fighting units but also tools of Roman statecraft and expansion. Each legion comprised approximately 4,500 to 5,000 foot soldiers, legionaries, and a group of cavalry, equites. Legionaries were Roman citizens, recruited primarily from the lower classes, and were well equipped with standardized armor and weapons, including the iconic short sword, gladius, and large shield, scutum. This standardization allowed for an efficient supply chain and maintenance of equipment across vast territories. The Roman military machine was highly adaptable, employing various formations like the testudo or tortoise formation, where shields were held to protect soldiers from all sides and above, which was especially useful during sieges. The strategic genius of Roman military command lay in their ability to adapt and incorporate enemies' tactics and technologies. Furthermore, the legions were not just military units but also agents of Roman culture, law, and civilization, founding cities and spreading the Latin language and Roman laws across the conquered regions. This dual role of soldier and citizen builder was unique and pivotal in the spread and maintenance of Roman influence throughout Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Mongol Horde, Mongol Empire. The Mongol Horde, under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, was one of the most fearsome and effective military forces in history. Known for their incredible mobility and speed, the Mongols revolutionized warfare in the 12th and 13th centuries, creating an empire that stretched from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan. Central to their military success was their use of composite bows and expert horsemanship. Each Mongol warrior was a highly skilled horseman, capable of shooting with deadly accuracy while riding at full gallop. The mobility of the Mongol army allowed for rapid and unexpected maneuvers, often catching more static defenses off guard. The Mongol military strategy was marked by psychological warfare, superior reconnaissance, and adaptability. They used feigned retreats effectively, luring enemies into traps. Moreover, their communication network was highly advanced, utilizing a relay system of horses and riders that could transmit orders across vast distances swiftly. Culturally, the Mongols were also pragmatic, often incorporating conquered peoples into their army and learning from their technologies and strategies. This adaptability, combined with ruthless efficiency and military innovation, made the Mongol horde a dominant force, influencing military tactics worldwide.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
British Royal Navy, British Empire, 18th and 19th centuries. The British Royal Navy was instrumental in establishing and maintaining the British Empire as a global superpower during the 18th and 19th centuries. Its prowess not only lay in its size but also in its technological and tactical advancements. During this period, the Royal Navy dominated the seas, thanks to its superior shipbuilding techniques and the development of the line-of-battle tactic, where ships of the line would engage in parallel lines for maximum broadside impact. This tactic was perfected at battles such as Trafalgar, 1805, where Admiral Nelson defeated the combined French and Spanish fleets, a pivotal moment that ensured British naval supremacy. The Royal Navy also played a crucial role in controlling key maritime choke points like the Suez Canal and the Strait of Gibraltar, which were vital for trade and military movements. Furthermore, the Navy's ability to enforce a blockade of Napoleonic France significantly weakened the French economy and military capability. The Royal Navy's influence extended beyond warfare. It was a vehicle for exploration, mapping the uncharted territories of the world, and also for the spread of British culture and the English language. Its role in suppressing the slave trade in the 19th century marked a significant humanitarian milestone. The Navy not only shaped warfare but also played a crucial role in shaping the modern world. Spartan Army, Ancient Sparta. The Spartan army was renowned for its rigorous military training and discipline, stemming from the Spartan society which was oriented almost entirely towards warfare. From the age of 7, Spartan males were enrolled in the Agoge, a state-sponsored education and training regimen designed to cultivate military prowess, loyalty, and endurance. Spartan soldiers, known as hoplites, were equipped with long spears, shields, and body armor that allowed them to engage in close-quarter combat effectively. The phalanx formation, where hoplites stood side by side, shields overlapping with spears pointing outward, was central to their tactics. This formation relied heavily on the cohesion and discipline of the hoplites, making the Spartan phalanx one of the most formidable military units in ancient Greece. Unlike other Greek city-states, Sparta had a unique social structure where manual labor was done by a subjugated class, the helots. This system allowed Spartan citizens to dedicate themselves entirely to military pursuits. The emphasis on military excellence not only made Sparta a dominant military power but also a starkly unique society focused almost singularly on martial capability. Wehrmacht, Nazi Germany during World War II. The Wehrmacht was the unified armed forces of Nazi Germany, encompassing the Heer, Army, Kriegsmarine, Navy, and Luftwaffe, Air Force. Formed in 1935, it was characterized by its advanced technology, strategic mobility, and the devastating rapid warfare tactic known as blitzkrieg or lightning war. This involved coordinated strikes by tanks, motorized infantry, and aircraft to quickly break through enemy lines and encircle them. During World War II, the Wehrmacht demonstrated formidable efficiency in the early years, conquering much of Europe, including France, Poland, and the Low Countries. Technological innovations such as the Panzer tank and the Stuka dive bomber were critical in these successes. However, it was also a tool of the totalitarian regime's ideology, involved in war crimes and the Holocaust, which remains a deeply controversial and dark aspect of its legacy. The initial successes of the Wehrmacht were overshadowed by strategic blunders such as the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941 and the failure at Stalingrad in 1943, leading to its eventual defeat. The legacy of the Wehrmacht is complex, reflecting both military innovation and the horrific impacts of its actions during the war. Red Army, Soviet Union during World War II. The Red Army, officially known as the Workers' and Peasants' Red Army, was the military force of the Soviet Union. It played a crucial role in defeating Nazi Germany in World War II, particularly from the Battle of Stalingrad to the capture of Berlin. The Red Army's size, at its peak, was the largest in the world, with millions of men and women under its command. The Red Army was known for its sheer numbers, resilience, and the harsh conditions under which its soldiers operated. Its strategy often involved massive artillery barrages followed by vast human wave attacks, a costly tactic in terms of lives but one that eventually overwhelmed German forces. The T-34 tank and the Katyusha rocket launcher were among the key pieces of military hardware that contributed to its battlefield successes. Post-war, the Red Army was seen as a liberator in many parts of Eastern Europe, but its presence also facilitated the Soviet establishment of communist regimes in these areas, impacting the political landscape of Europe for the Cold War period. The legacy of the Red Army is thus intertwined with both the liberation from Nazism and the subsequent spread of Soviet influence. Imperial Japanese Army. During World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army, IJA, was a formidable force that played a central role in Japan's military operations across Asia and the Pacific. Formed in the late 19th century during the Meiji Restoration, which aimed to modernize and strengthen Japan, the IJA was influenced by European military practices but retained distinctive Japanese elements. The ethos of the IJA was deeply intertwined with the Bushido Code, which emphasized honor, courage, and loyalty unto death. This code profoundly influenced the soldiers' conduct, instilling a willingness to fight to the end and commit suicide rather than surrender, as seen in the infamous banzai charges and kamikaze pilots. The IJA was also known for its rigorous discipline and the intense indoctrination of its troops, which, while creating highly dedicated soldiers, also led to harsh treatment of enemies and civilians during conflicts. Their strategy relied heavily on rapid movements, surprise attacks, and the avoidance of prolonged engagements unless victory was certain. The legacy of the IJA is complex, marked by impressive military achievements but also marred by the atrocities committed during its campaigns, which remain points of contention and reflection in discussions of war ethics and national memory. United States Armed Forces. The United States Armed Forces, comprising the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard, represent one of the most advanced and diverse military organizations globally, especially notable during the 20th and 21st centuries. Throughout these years, the U.S. military has been pivotal in major global conflicts, including both World Wars, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf Wars, and the ongoing conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq. The strength of the U.S. Armed Forces lies not only in its technological superiority and vast resources but also in its ability to adapt and respond to changing warfare dynamics. This adaptability is reflected in their transition from trench warfare in World War I to nuclear strategy during the Cold War, and more recently, to counterinsurgency and drone warfare. The U.S. military's influence extends beyond mere combat. It plays a significant role in American diplomacy and global security policies, often described as a key element of the country's soft power. Its humanitarian missions and disaster relief efforts worldwide also showcase its capabilities beyond traditional military engagements. The force's commitment to innovation, extensive training programs, and the integration of cutting-edge technology ensure its status as a dominant military power. Carthaginian Military. During the Punic Wars against Rome, the Carthaginian military was distinguished by its multi-ethnic composition and innovative strategies, most notably under the leadership of Hannibal Barca. Carthage, relying heavily on mercenary forces from various parts of North Africa and Iberia, demonstrated a unique approach to military composition, integrating diverse fighting styles and tactics. This reliance on mercenaries stemmed partly from Carthage's commercial origins, where trade relations facilitated the hiring of soldiers from across the Mediterranean. Hannibal's crossing of the Alps with war elephants is emblematic of Carthage's bold and adaptive military tactics. Despite these strengths, the Carthaginian military also faced challenges, particularly in maintaining loyalty among its mercenary troops, which occasionally led to internal dissent and rebellion. The naval prowess of Carthage was another cornerstone of its military strategy, enabling it to protect its trade networks and exert influence across the Mediterranean. However, the eventual defeat by Rome in the Punic Wars led to the decline of Carthage, highlighting the limitations of relying heavily on mercenary forces and the strategic disadvantages of facing a well-organized, persistent enemy like Rome. French Grande Armée. Napoleon Bonaparte's Grande Armée was an iconic military force during the early 19th century, known for its size, strength, and innovative military tactics. At its peak, it included hundreds of thousands of men, drawn from various territories under Napoleon's control, reflecting a diverse but highly organized composition. The Grande Armée revolutionized warfare with its use of corps, each a self-contained fighting force with its infantry, cavalry, and artillery, allowing for flexible and coordinated movements across vast battlefields. This system emphasized speed, surprise, and the initiative of subordinate commanders, which were critical in the rapid conquests during the Napoleonic Wars. The morale of the troops was exceptionally high, often driven by loyalty to Napoleon himself, who was seen as a hero and military genius by his soldiers. The legacy of the Grande Armée is profound, influencing military tactics and organization in Europe and beyond. Its ultimate downfall during the invasion of Russia in 1812, due to the harsh winter and logistical challenges, serves as a reminder of the limits of military power and the importance of environmental and supply factors in warfare strategy. Ottoman Army. The Ottoman Army, from the 16th to the 18th centuries, was a crucial factor in the empire's rise and maintenance of power across 3 continents. The army was famed for its janissaries, elite infantry units that began as slave troops drawn from Christian lands under the Devshirme system. These troops were highly trained and deeply loyal to the Sultan, forming the backbone of the Ottoman military force. The Ottomans were also pioneers in the use of gunpowder, particularly in siege warfare, which was evident in their successful conquests of Constantinople and later, parts of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. The army's structure was complex, with a clear hierarchy and roles, including cavalry, sipahi, infantry, and specialized corps like the artillery units. The Ottoman military was also noted for its logistical organization, capable of supporting large armies over extended campaigns, which was instrumental in the sustained expansion and control of the empire. However, by the 18th century, the army began facing significant challenges due to internal corruption, technological lag behind European powers, and administrative inefficiencies. Despite these setbacks, the Ottoman military remained a formidable force, influencing European military tactics and contributing significantly to the military history of the Islamic world. Persian Immortals. The Persian Immortals, an elite unit of the Achaemenid Empire's army, were so named because their number, traditionally 10,000, was always maintained. If a soldier was killed or wounded, he was immediately replaced. This practice gave rise to the unit's name, suggesting they were immortal in the face of enemy forces. The Immortals were crucial during the empire's expansion under leaders like Cyrus the Great and Darius I, and they played a significant role in battles such as Thermopylae during the Greco-Persian Wars. They were a symbol of the Persian military strength and the administrative efficiency of the empire, capable of maintaining such a force in constant readiness. The Immortals were equipped with a mix of light and heavy arms, including spears, bows, and protected by wicker shields, making them versatile in both offensive and defensive maneuvers. Their training and the strategic use of their diverse weaponry allowed the Persian army to engage effectively in various forms of warfare, including the open-field battles typical of the period and more complex siege operations. The legacy of the Persian Immortals lies not only in their military effectiveness but also in their representation of the Achaemenid Empire's vast resources and sophisticated organizational capabilities.